What's going on, y'all? And today we're going to be reviewing Arc Raiders. Now, Arc Raiders, if you don't know what that is, it's a very popular game. It's been out for some months and it is highly addictive. The premise is you start off at a spawn point and your main objective is to get as much loot and materials as you can and extract safely. Now, there are players and there are AI robots. So it is PvP, but it is also PvE. It's a really good game in my opinion. I will give my score out of 10 at the end. Stick around till the end though. Like, comment, and subscribe if you do enjoy the video. Um, Starting off with some things that are good that I do like is that when you get to a point later on or even at the beginning and you have no materials, you've played some games, you lost a lot of materials, you can run what's called a free loadout, but the free loadout doesn't come with a safe pocket. A free loadout essentially is it doesn't cost anything, it doesn't cost you any materials, it's free. You get a little bit of shield, a little bit of bandages. You usually get one gun, a little bit of ammo, maybe a grenade or a zip line, something miscellaneous that comes along with it. Now, I will say that the free loadouts typically aren't most of the time enough to really get the job done. I mean, depending on the person, if you have the skill set and the movement, it's not as hard, but you really don't get much ammo, you don't get many heals being a free loadout. You know what I mean? You can't expect too much. Now, a safe pocket, what I was referring to, is like what you see on screen. I have two safe pockets. You're able to extract with two items. If you die, you could put two things in your safe pockets. Now, you can put just about everything like blueprints and keys and health and these and but you can't put weapons. That's the only thing. They had just made a recent drop where there's an augment like the blue one that I have, but it's pink and you could put a weapon in your safe pocket. Now that's something new that people were asking for, which is a really nice feature. Another thing that I will give them praise on is they are really up to date. They update the game and do small patches fairly often. We're supposed to be getting new arcs and new maps and got stuff planned throughout the entire year. Um there are some exploiters though, like people that do wall glitches, like your Call of Duty users, and just about every other game. There will be people that try to exploit and try to cheat. There's there's been glitches in the game, money glitches, wall glitches. There's a lot of patchy things, but the game developers make sure that they try to fix it the best that they can. They try to make sure that it's a fair game. There's no pay to win, which is really good. You can't pay for virtual currency like most games and just be better than everyone else because you're using your mom's credit card. Like that's not, that's it's not the way that games should be. There should be skill gaps, and that's one thing that I really do enjoy about this game is there is a huge skill gap. Um, Another good thing that I will give them praise on is their matchmaking is pretty good. It has skill-based matchmaking where if you're more of a peaceful person, you can typically get in pretty peaceful lobbies. You're still going to have your toxic players, and that's just how every game is. You're going to have people that want to fight and want to battle. There's nothing wrong with that. That's how the game is, and it's intended to be played. But if you're someone who shoots at every single thing that you see and everyone and you want to get every bit of loot that you can, then you're going to probably get in more ruthless games and people of your stature that want to fight other people and get that loot as well. Except twos and threes. When it comes to two-player squads and three-player squads, the game for the most part, I don't really see much skill based matchmaking. Now, they could try, I guess. I don't know how their system is. I don't work for them, obviously. But their development, like, I don't know if one person being passive, one person being aggressive, and one person not playing the game much at all. For example, I don't know how that matches with other people. I don't know if it's the same system or if it's like a KD ratio that they have implanted for your stats and they kind of just add each one up. I don't typically know what they do with it. But in solos, I could get in pretty peaceful games because I like to get as much material as I can for when I play in duos and trios with my friends. I have enough loot and I have enough guns and I have enough everything to be able to run some games without having to typically run free loadouts and have some fun with my friends, if that makes sense. Now, there are a few things that are a headache or that I don't agree with. Now, the arcs are AI driven. The robots are AI driven. So they're pretty smart now that we're some months down the road. When the game first came out, now obviously they were slow, they were silly, they didn't make sense. They would stare at walls, and they were typical robots, right? It felt like everything was on easy. Now, just like my friend explained to me the other day, I'm so glad that you put me onto the game early before it was super toxic, so that I had a bunch of materials before people pretend to be friendly and then shoot you in your back in game, examples. But I mean, it's a fairly good game. They keep it simple. Um, there's a little catalog if you want to know about each arc and where their weak spots is, and uh, as far as keeping it simple, I mean, the guns are pretty simple. You have your light guns, your heavy guns, you have your there's light ammo, medium ammo, you got your heavy. It's fairly simple as far as like guns and mechanics and being able to shoot and all those kinds of things. Um, but other than that, they try their best to make it not feel repetitive. I mean, if you're getting bored on one map, you could swap to a different map where there are some different arcs versus like one map to another. You could swap it up. And as far as the maps go, I mean, they look gorgeous. Like they look really good. The graphics for the game, it's pretty good. I do like that it is also in third person. It's something different that we weren't used to. Now I'm used to it playing the game. But when you first start off, like Call of Duty users, and I know it's a cardinal sin to mention the word arc raiders and Call of Duty in the same sentence. I know I will probably be smited for it, but I mean, overall, the graphics are amazing. The mechanics wise, though, that's where we have an issue. The game can look nice, but sometimes the mechanics can play like shit. If I'm just being brutally honest, you could try to run, like for instance, you can't get through that. How can I not get through this? How? How can I not get through that? I have to run around. Are we serious? I mean, a normal person could just lift a leg over and walk over it, but I guess it's a video game. Is their excuse? I mean, there are times where I'm trying to run and grapple. I can't grapple. I can't run because I have no stamina. Stamina runs out fairly quick. Even with all the way maxed out stamina, it still runs out fairly quick. No, I mean the skill tree maybe you could to toy with it and mess with it a bit, kind of get it how you want, maybe have a little bit better stamina than I do or run longer. But ultimately, I mean, being used to in other games where there's no stamina bar and then having it, it's a different change of pace. It's not something that you're used to. Even playing the game, I never get used to it. The stamina just runs out so quick. It's honestly insane. Another thing that does frustrate me a little bit is the extraction. When you click the button for the extraction, sometimes it takes a little too long. Once you're down and you're clicking the button, there are times where it takes so long to get there that you die in front of the extraction and you can't leave because you still have to click the button and leave, and that takes a second too. Uh, I mean, I don't know if there's a way that they could change that or fix it, but I mean, if I wish they could or would personally, making it just a tad quicker, even just like 5 or 10 seconds, could make all the difference. But I mean, there are skill tree sets where you could still live longer while you're downed, like lose less blood quicker. Uh, I mean, those are kinds of things that can help. You really have to use your skill tree to your advantage. Another cool part about the skill tree that they had just recently done, they updated it where you could reset it. Uh, you could get back all of the skill tree points that you have and restart the tree. If you didn't like how you had it or you set it up wrong, you used it wasted a couple, you could take them all back and put them where you want them now that there are people that have set that like, oh, this is a perfect loadout for uh stamina, running, etc. Attack, power, all that kind of stuff. I know I have heard out of the community that to some people the game still feels repetitive. And to each his own. I could totally understand that. You just run in, you try to get loot, you leave. I mean, but that's most games. I mean, when you play Madden, it's the same way. You play a little bit of offense, you play a little defense, you try to score, you try to stop someone from scoring. It's the same way with 2K. You shoot, you play defense, you score, you block, you miss. It's every game has its repetitive features, I would say. But ultimately, I mean, I do get upset and feel the repetitiveness more when I die a lot. Like if I get into a lobby, I'm using a lot of materials to keep me going and then die, set it up again, die, use more coins because I'm out of material, die, use even more coins, die. It gets repetitively in an annoying sense and frustrating way. I mean, I believe that there are certain things that they could tweak and could fix, and it's still fairly a newer game, but they are really on it as far as updates and with the recent money glitch that had just happened. They patched it within a day's notice. I don't think that they banned anyone's accounts from what I've seen. Maybe a few trolls on like AI posts. I don't know for sure. But ultimately, I mean, I haven't even really seen many people that like the wall hackers get banned. Now, they could just be like gone from the community, who knows? But I've been killed by wall hackers and haven't even gotten my loot back after reporting them, so uh with that being said, I don't know for sure. No, I will say, as far as repetitiveness goes, it will feel pretty stale if you're not going to I I get a huge dopamine hit whenever I get a blueprint or something, but at the same time, it's so diluted that people are buying them from people, and they're so easy to get. You know, they need to add newer stuff. Now, if they add more blueprints, or like they're adding a couple new blueprints, add new blueprints or arcs, new maps, that's the kinds of things that's going to stop that repetitiveness. But I mean, like I said, to each his own. Some people have weaker dopamine receptors, you know what I mean? Like they just, they can't play the same game for so long, regardless of if everything is new or not. So, I mean, you can't really control that. But I mean, I feel like Arc Raiders does a pretty good job trying to keep things from being repetitive. You spawn in different spots, you could go to different maps. There's quite a few different things. I just can't think of everything off the top of my head. Now, one thing I will say that does make the game feel very stale in repetitiveness, as far as just like the game itself. Now, there are quite a few maps. There are like 4 or 5 maps right now, but at the same time, on each map, nothing changes. So if you were to go to one map, right? Let's say you go into Stella Montes. You could keep running to Medical Center over and over and over and over again because it's a high loot spot and you might find some good stuff, but it's repetitive because you're running to the same places over and over. Now, if they were to alter it and make high loot points go to other parts of the map and kind of rotate them, that's a really good way of being able to keep people on the game and make it not feel so stale and have people go to different areas. Instead of having the same spots every single game be the best place to get loot and materials, why don't you rotate them and swap them? And then you'll have people fighting in different areas, different rooms, different buildings, different structures where people could fight in instead of the same things over and over. If you're going to Control Tower on Battleground, it's going to feel repetitive running 25 games going back to that same spot and fighting people trying to, get all that same high loot in that one spot every single game. Um Other than that though, another thing I thought about that is good about this game is the gun ratios. So let me break it down. You could use one of the epic guns, the best guns in the game, and you could still die to someone with a free loadout. It's not like just having the best guns in the game make you the best player. You have to know how to use them. You still have to know how to take cover, barrel roll, have movement, and get out of the way, not stand and just take every bullet, the game's not very forgiving either. The arcs, you know what I mean? Now that they're so smart, the AIs, they hear all, they see all. You pretty much have a standoff with just about every arc that you see, unless you are very quiet and sneak around. Uh, the PvP is pretty good. I will say, in my opinion, I've had some fun fights, some good moments. I've met some really cool people as well. I've helped some people out. Some people have helped me out. Hey, do you have this blueprint? The community overall is really good. It's very divided, though, between obviously people who buy blueprints and do glitches and stuff like that versus people who earn everything and kind of don't, do those extracurricular ways of getting better at the game, which to each his own. There's nothing wrong with it. If you want to pocket a few extra dollars because you have some extra blueprints instead of selling them and help someone else out, then there's nothing wrong with that. Now, when we're glitching the game, that's where I have an issue. I would say that with for people who do play the game, this part is for people who play the game. If you are going to do glitches like money glitches with the ducks and all that kind of stuff, I don't see a problem with it. I mean, some people do, yes, I could see that, but at the same time, for people like me who got tired of dying and using free loadouts, you could per se you do the money glitch and have a little bit of money, but when you're expanding on that glitch and using it on bombs and barricades and all these things, exploiting, hurting other people and ruining other people's experience, that's when I would have an issue. You know what I mean? I typically, I try to get things done the right way and kind of not want to get myself banned from the game because I find it to be an enjoyable game. But if there's going to be exploits in the game and the game has clinks and issues, then I would say that that's on the game. That's not on the person. I mean, you can't really ban someone for a mechanic in your game that you don't want to fix. But like I said, they fixed it fairly quickly, and I haven't seen them really ban people. So, I mean, we'll see as far as that goes, but so now that I've gave a little bit of insight as far as the game and how I feel on it, I'm going to give you my insight as far as some of the questions that you might have. Is the game worth the money? Yes. Is it worth the frustration? Yes. Is it worth getting a headache and screaming at the top of your lungs? Sometimes. I think that it is overall considerably worth the hype and it is a good game. There are some clinks, there are some minor issues and mechanics and such that could be worked on, but overall, fantastic game. It's addicting. It's you just get infinite dopamine when you're sitting there having a good day, but when you're not having a good day on the game and you're having bad luck and you can't survive, it's still addicting. You want to come back for more with a vengeance and you want to win. You want to get your stuff back. You want to make everyone pay for their sins from the last game, even even though some of those people probably aren't in the same game. Um I would say it's a solid 9 out of 10. It's a really good game. I would get it if I were you. Like, comment, and subscribe if you liked the video and you enjoyed the review. Uh, I'm trying to review more games now. That's kind of something I've been trying to do as well. It's another category we're gonna add on here. Um, yeah, I would get the game. If you haven't already tried it and you haven't played it, I would get it. It's worth it. It's a real good game. Starting out now might be a little rocky versus starting out when the game first came out due to players, arcs, etc. And glitches that have been in the game since. But ultimately, it's a fun game and it's worth it, man. I don't know. Like, I can't speak down on it much. There's really not much to speak down on. They work on the game. They spend countless days fixing bugs and glitches and trying to stop exploiting and make the game as rewarding as it can be. Uh yeah, that's really it though, in my opinion. If you like the video, just click that like button. You see that little thumb up button right there? Just go ahead and click that for me. I'd appreciate it. My birthday's coming up. Just one like, one birthday wish. I would appreciate it. Click that subscribe button if you like the videos. We're trying to get more content out there. Now that my schedule is more free, I'm trying to be back to back with these videos as quick as I can for you. I do all the editing and everything myself. So, appreciate y'all. And then we'll catch you next time. Peace.